Right then, so we've got some brand new The Predator 2018 news. This comes direct from avpgalaxy.net, so if you're not familiar with them, please do check them out via the link below in the description box. They're a great website, and they have compiled together some of these set reports, which I'm going to be reeling off to you right now. And they're quite in-depth, actually. These particular set reports are more specifically to do with the Predator design, how the Predator moves, and essentially, you know, the kind of production of the Predator on a whole. So first things first, this is with regards to one of the actors playing the Predator, and this is Brian A. Prince. And this comes from Den of Geek with regards to the casting process and how his parkour skills have been coming into play with regards to him playing a Predator in the movie, because there are about 4 or 5 in this particular film. So it states as follows. All that changed, Prince explains, when he got a call from the Predator's stunt coordinator. Prince made a video demonstrating his parkour skills, sent it off, and within a few weeks he was on a plane bound for Los Angeles. And direct from Prince, he stated the following. I just got in there and started swinging and jumping, started running around. We did the audition process. There was me, Kyle, about 3 other guys, all about the same height. We drew in our own take of some kind of creature movement, and I mixed in some hunting and primal elements with a lot of my parkour movements. A lot of jumping, vaulting, rolling around, and I guess Shane liked it, because the next day they told me I got it, and I was like, what? I was working minimum wage last year, and now I'm here. This creature's a lot more mobile. In the other films they'd move for sure, but a lot of the times in the first one there wasn't a lot of agile movements. So with this one, for me, they're throwing me through things, I'm fighting, slashing. One of the things I had in mind was for the creature to look heavy, to look big, but also to be very mobile, kind of like a lion, a big creature, or a bear. You see one running at you and you're like, oh damn. So, it seems parkour still hasn't left our movie theatres thus far. It is kind of interesting that they're kind of pulling in parkour artists to play a Predator. We know that Prince, although he's, you know, a fairly tall and large guy, his particular character does look a little bit small in the trailer and how he went up against Boyd Holbrook. So it's kind of interesting. I do find it a little bit interesting with regards to how they're approaching this, with it being more agile and a little bit more speedy and more athletic. I will say I don't dislike it at all, actually, because it's more in line with how they are portrayed in, say, the games and things like that, which their portrayal in the game universe is superb. So for a Predator to be as large as they are and be as agile as they are, I'm all for that. I think that's fantastic. I don't think that's bad at all. Next, we have a lot of information, and specifically Den of Geek spoke to the creature effects guys, Alec Giles and Tom Woodruff, about how the Predator's character design and the mix of practical and digital effects, and basically how important it is to fans to see a real Predator on the set. I hold my breath quite a lot on Alec Giles and Tom Woodruff, because these are the guys that made the Predator for, say, AVP, and we know how those Predators looked. They look like trash. So we'll wait to see what these ones turn out like, but currently their historical work has not been the best. But anyway, they stated the following. We're big fans of practical effects because we think the real stuff just looks the best. That's not to say there's not a place for the digital as well, because there always is. So there are several Predator characters in this movie that are practical, as they should be in our opinion, and we think it's what the fans want to see. A real Predator standing next to a person. And then Den of Geek went on to state the following. There are little clues here and there, however, that not all the creature effects in the Predator will be practical. Later in the day when they were on set, we see a sequence where a Predator goes flying backwards through a window. Likely the same school window we saw Holbrook slammed up against in an earlier scene. It's a small yet near looking stunt. We see the shot from a low 3/4 angle as the Predator crashes through the wooden window frame. Once the camera operators have caught the take, a crew member rushes in with those mirrored ball things that visual effects use to add CG elements to the sequence in post-production. First, a mirrored ball is lowered in front of the camera, then a matte one, then a third one textured after the Predator's skin, that pale, mottled grey with an amphibious, sticky sheen. Finally, a prop arm is lowered into view. It's unmistakably a Predator arm, but huge, even by the Alien Hunter standards. Could it be that the Predator of the title isn't a guy in a suit like the others, but a much bigger one brought to life with CGI. The occasional mention of a 10-foot mother certainly suggests that he will be. So from my experience with the leaked script and everything I know about the movie, Den of Geek are right. There is a 10-foot genetically modified predator in this film, and that is what they're referencing. There were some kind of discussions in the past with regards to how they were going to be making this character come to life. Ian White, as far as we're aware, isn't in this film. This is the chap that has played the engineer in Prometheus and also Wolf in AVP-R. He's a very tall guy. He's very good at what he does when he's bringing creatures to life. And I would have personally liked to see him come back. It would have been great to have him as the 10-foot predator, because obviously the other guys are essentially nobodies. They don't have any history with the predators at the moment, and it would have been nice to have someone come back, even just as a little bit of a nod, especially with regards to how he has worked in the past. Bit of a shame that it looks like they are just bringing, you know, the Predator, the title Predator, to life with CGI. I find that, I mean, it's a bit shit, to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to lie. But look, it might be great in execution, so I guess we'll just see how it goes. Outside of that, Thomas Jane, who plays a character called Baxley, went on and spoke to Den of Geek, basically about Shane Black's take on The Predator. He stated the following: he's trying to create a sense of realism, but also a sense of humour with the thing, you know? It's a little irreverent. It's also scary, with a lot of terrific action. I love the idea of taking a bunch of lunatic, misfit veterans who were used up by the military and thrown away. They can't even get their meds on time or get proper care. We take these guys and pit them against the threats from outer space. I think it's great. What he's referencing there is the band of guys which are working with Boyd Holbrook. They are, in fact, even called the Crazies. And yes, they are veterans, which is quite on the nose as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure if I overly approve of that. I do feel it's a little bit disrespectful to people who have obviously, fought in wars and such, but I'll kind of leave my opinions out of that. And then Boyd Holbrook chimed in with respect to Shane Black's take on The Predator as well, and stated the following: it's his demographic of films, these mega movies. I feel like there's been a little bit of phoning it in. They're all becoming this big, long film, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but that's why I was attracted to a film like Logan, because I felt that it had substance and story, but still fitting in that demographic. Once I saw that there was an element of a true relationship between all the characters, and that Shane was coming on, the kind of film Shane makes, I was ecstatic, I guess you could say. So there you have it, an awful lot of news. Basically, we learn again from Thomas Jane that there is a lot of humour in this film. I've been saying for a while it's kind of set up like an action comedy with a little bit of the Predator tacked on and kind of thrown in there. I'm not overly sure what I think of the CGI 10-foot Predator, but I'm going to kind of pose these questions to you really. What do you think of the 10-foot Predator? What do you think of the parkour Predator, which is going to be another creature in the film? What do you think of these things? Does this excite you? Are you interested in it? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. With regards to Shane Black's take on The Predator, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I know I've been negative about it, but again, I'm not going to hide my opinion. You guys come here for my opinion, so I'm going to tell you it. I am still going to go and watch this film. Why wouldn't I? I need to watch it because I am a Predator fan. Even if I think it's going to fail, I'm still going to go and watch it. And I hope it succeeds. After saying all of this, I still hope it succeeds. Why? Because if it doesn't and it's not good, one, I've wasted my money. I don't want anyone to waste their money when they go to the theatre. I want you to spend your money and have a good time. And obviously, it's time. Time is valuable, and I want to have a good time when I go to the theatre. But outside of that, it's mainly the fact that if it doesn't do well, it's going to be put on ice for a really, really long time. Because you've got to remember, Predators came out with a $40 million budget, which is nothing, and it did reasonably okay. Critical reception wasn't the best, neither was the fan, but it's been on ice ever since, and it's not come out. And that one wasn't even, hated that much. This film, unfortunately, has the potential to be massively hated. It could be a blockbuster hit, but if it isn't, then by the time the Disney-Fox deal has gone through, which will be next summer, it's going to be left down to Disney to make the Predator films. And unfortunately, they're probably going to take a really long time to kind of get the R-rated properties in check. they will pump out everything else, all of the comic book related stuff. I'm sure they'll be rushing out with that and all the other IPs that Fox have. But Alien and Predator, I can't imagine that they're going to rush through that. So if this doesn't do well, it's going to be put on ice for a really, really long time, and that's not good. So obviously, as a Predator fan, I want it to do very well. So like I say, just, you know, when I voice my opinion, it's just my opinion, but it is based off of the leaked script. It's based off of people talking to me when they visited the test screening in November, and, you know, a lot of information which is out there and is corroborated with leaked set photos and such. It's all there, and even the trailer confirms it. So I hope it does well. It is just my opinion, but I want to hear yours. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date on all pop culture and movie news as best as I can anyway. I'm a one-man band here, so I can't do everything, but hey, I do try. And guys, as always, I've been Mr. H, and I will catch you in the next video.